We live in a world where everyone is desperate to be seen, desperate to be heard, and to be validated. We live in a world where people are always trying to prove they're right, to prove they're valuable, to prove they're strong, to prove they are never wrong. But the Stoic doesn't live to prove. The Stoic doesn't beg for recognition. The Stoic doesn't chase approval. The Stoic doesn't explain his worth to the crowd, because the Stoic knows one timeless truth: silence is strength. Now think about this. When most people feel hurt, rejected, or misunderstood, they rush, they chase, they try to fix what's broken by throwing words at it. They explain, they over-explain, they pour their heart out to people who already decided not to listen. But that is not courage. That is not power. That is weakness pretending to be strength. Have you ever been there? You call someone and they don't answer. You send another message, then another. You write a long paragraph, hoping they'll finally see your worth. But here's the hard truth. The more you explain, the more you chase, the more power you give away. And that, my friend, is the opposite of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they all understood the superpower of silence. Not because they didn't care, but because they understood something deeper. Epictetus said the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. When you beg for someone's attention, when you plead for their understanding, you're saying this: my peace depends on you. That is not peace. That is prison. Real strength is this: someone disrespects you, and you walk away without a word. Not from arrogance, not from pride, but because your dignity does not scream. Your dignity does not chase. Your dignity does not explain. It detaches in silence. And this silence is not emptiness. It is discipline. It is self-respect. It is inner strength that whispers, I do not need you to hear me in order to hear myself. And here's the paradox. Your silence will terrify them, because when you don't react, they lose the control they thought they had over you. So today, let's talk about that silence. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of avoidance, but the silence that builds power. The silence that forces people to face their own actions. The silence that makes your absence louder than your words ever could. We are going to break down 6 truths, 6 reasons why silence is a Stoic superpower, 6 reasons why the wise don't chase, beg, or explain themselves. If you've been misunderstood, if you've given too much, if you've chased someone who walked away, this message is for you. Let it be your reminder. Let it be your turning point. Before we begin, do me one favor. Like this video if this message already resonates. Drop your affirmations in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Most importantly, stay with me until the very end, because one truth here might change the way you carry yourself forever. And right now, let's anchor this belief together. Type it in the comments. My silence is my power. Number 1. Silence makes them feel your absence, not just hear your words. Something strange happens when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop chasing, when you stop trying to fix what someone else has already broken. People notice. Silence doesn't push. It pulls. It doesn't shout. It echoes. Think back to the last time you were hurt. Maybe someone ghosted you. Maybe they disrespected you. Maybe they turned cold. Your instincts screamed, say something, fight back, defend yourself. But here's the paradox. The more you speak, the less they listen. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you explain, the cheaper your words become. But when you fall silent, when you stop engaging, suddenly your absence weighs more than your presence ever did. As Elbert Hubbard once wrote, he who does not understand your silence will probably not understand your words. Silence creates a mirror. It forces people to see themselves, to feel the gap you leave behind. And that is a power few ever master. Number 2, silence guards your dignity. Let me be clear. Silence is not cowardice. It is not weakness. It is not retreat. It is dignity. When you walk away without words, you protect your energy. You protect your mind. You protect your self-respect. Every word you throw at someone who doesn't value you is like pouring water into sand. It disappears. It drains you. It leaves you empty. Silence keeps your cup full. Seneca once wrote, "It is better to conquer our grief than to deceive it." The Stoic doesn't cover pain with noise. He transforms it with silence. When someone disrespects you, don't waste your words trying to fix it. Stand tall. Hold your dignity. Let silence do the talking, because your silence is proof. You don't need them to see your worth. You already know it. Number 3, silence shifts the power. Here's what most people never realize. The one who speaks the most in conflict often holds the least power. The one who begs, the one who explains, the one who repeats themselves. They plead authority with every word. But the one who stays silent, they hold the frame. They hold the control. Silence unnerves people. They expected a fight. They expected begging. They expected you to fold. But when you remain silent, the script flips. Suddenly, they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how you feel. They don't know if they lost you forever. And that uncertainty, that is power. Remember, words are predictable. Silence is not. And what cannot be predicted cannot be controlled. Number 4, silence strengthens your mind. Silence is not only for others. It is for you. When you hold back words, you hold space for reflection. You create clarity. Noise scatters the mind, but silence sharpens it. Marcus Aurelius often wrote his thoughts in his journal, not to others, because silence with yourself is where true wisdom grows. When you feel the urge to respond, pause. When you want to defend, wait. When you want to prove your point, choose stillness. This discipline builds mental muscle. It turns impulse into patience. It turns anger into understanding. In silence, you become unshakable. Number 5, silence speaks louder than anger. Anger shouts. Silence whispers. The whisper lasts longer. It cuts deeper. When someone wrongs you, they expect an outburst. They expect rage. They expect drama. But when you respond with silence, they're left with themselves. No excuses. No arguments. Only the echo of their actions. And that echo follows them longer than your anger ever would. Epictetus reminded us, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. Silence is freedom, because in silence, no one controls you but you. Number 6, silence is the ultimate display of self-mastery. At its core, Stoicism is about control. Not control of the world, but control of yourself. Anyone can talk. Anyone can argue. Anyone can scream. But few can stay silent. Few can master the storm inside. Silence is proof that you've conquered yourself. It is the highest form of discipline. It is the strongest shield against chaos. The man who controls his tongue controls his life. And when you master silence, you master the one thing no one can take from you, your inner peace. This is why the Stoics valued silence, not as weakness, but as the highest strength. So the next time you're tempted to explain, to beg, to chase, remember this truth. Your silence is not emptiness. It is power. Type in the comments, my silence is my power. And when the world tests you, when people misunderstand you, when they walk away, don't chase, don't beg, don't explain. Walk in silence, because your silence will speak for you. And in that silence, you will find your greatest strength.